Salinger, author of the American classic novel Catcher in the Rye, has died at the age of 91. He'd been a recluse at his home in Cornish, New Hampshire since 1953 and had not published any work since 1965. But his most famous novel ensures his place in history, as our arts correspondent Nicholas Glass reports.
Jerome David Salinger, JD Salinger, famously retiring, in most accounts reclusive. One of the few photographs of him in later life, he recoils angrily as the picture is taken from a car. If JD Salinger had only ever written one book, we would remember him. The Catcher in the Rye came out in 1951, and we were introduced to the distinctive voice of Holden Caulfield.
If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born, and what my lousy childhood was like, and how my parents were occupied, and all before they had me, and all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it if you want to know the truth.
The book has been published in numerous editions all over the world. It's always been a bestseller, a favourite early book for so many, a novel rarely forgotten. As the biographer Ian Hamilton noted, it became the book all brooding adolescents had to buy, the indispensable manual from which all cool styles of disaffectation could be borrowed. Notoriously, police found Mark Chapman reading Catcher in the Rye after he shot John Lennon.
What I like best is a book that's at least funny once in a while. What really knocks me out is a book that, when you're all done reading it, you wish the author that wrote it was a terrific friend of yours, and you could call him up on the phone whenever you felt like it. That doesn't happen much, though.
There were a few other books, mostly about the Glass family. Franny and Zoe in 1961, Raise High the Roof Beam Carpenters in 1963, and in the same year, Seymour, An Introduction. Salinger didn't publish anything original after 1965. He became as famous for guarding his privacy as he was for his writing. He always seems to have had female companionship. He was very careful with his diet. In 1998, we talked to a former mistress.
But with him, is it an austere life or what?
Oh, it was an enormously austere life. It was a life that had at its core the sense of denial of pleasure, I would say. You know, he wanted his goal, he spoke of, his spiritual goal being to free himself from ego.
Has he written anything else?
I know only what he said to me and what I observed, which was that every day he put on a blue gabardine mechanic's jumpsuit and headed into his backroom study. And I sometimes heard the clicking of the typewriter keys. What he was writing, I could not say. He said he'd finished a couple of novels involving the Glass family.
Dead at 91, we wait to hear whether he left us any unpublished novels or short stories.
Nicholas